Today it is Saturday, which means that it is park run day, and we are heading off today to Shepton Mallet Parkrun. So Shepton Mallet is about an hour to 45 minutes south of Bristol, so that is the closest city, and it is around Collett Park, which is located within Shepton Mallet itself. It is a 3-lap course, which is all on hard standing surfaces, which means that road shoes are perfectly fine for this course, and on the day that we went it was quite sunny too, so there was no standing puddles, which you will see later on in the footage. And then it is also a slightly hilly course, which you will see a little bit later on. It's not too bad, but there are a couple of inclines which you do have to do and then come back down as well, and that is 3 times around too, so you have to do that hill 3 times as well. Unfortunately though, the course is not dog friendly. I believe this is probably because of how tight the paths are. However, buggy/prams are allowed, and there are also toilets located right nearby as well, adjacent to where you park. I do have to say that this was a lovely park run, very scenic park, and there's a little section though where you do have to run through sort of a woodland area and you have to dodge maybe overgrown plants and thorn bushes that are coming out from the side, but it's not really that bad at all, and there is space to just run around them. But we will obviously see that a little bit later on. In terms of how quick it is, I'd say it's a fairly quick one. It's not going to be a PB course just because of the hills and the fact you have to do a few U-turns and things like that, which you'll see later on. But it is a decent one, and it is not going to be your slowest time, but it's not going to be your fastest time, so it's going to be somewhere in the middle. But before we carry on, if you don't know what a park run is, there is essentially a 5k run which is run by a group of volunteers who both time and marshal the event. The event is completely free, and once you get to the finish line, you'll be given yourself a finish token with your position on it. That is scanned along with your personalised barcode, and then later on you'll be sent your official time and finish position. So now you know what a park run is, let's take a look at the course. So as we said earlier, a 3-lapper, the elevation being shown there in that top left hand corner. You're going to start probably at the shallowest point of the course, make your way up, do that long straight which we're heading down now, come back downhill, back uphill from the lake, and then head back to the centre. So it is an elevation gain of about 48 metres with a max elevation of 155 metres. So that is a quick summary of the course. Now let's have a look at it in a bit more detail so you know where to expect these hills. So here we go. We're going to start off right next to the lake, sort of by a bridge over a small little stream going into the lake. You're going to make your way north towards Charlton Road. Once you get to that north side, there'll be a volunteer there. You'll do a U-turn, head your way uphill towards Millennium Way. Now this is going to be a flat from here, so you're going to turn left, head your way across Millennium Way all the way up to about this point here. You then do a U-turn, head your way back down Millennium Way. This is when it gets a little bit congested, you'll see a little bit later on. You'll then turn right. There's a slight smaller, steeper decline as you come down, but then head your way off to the left hand side now towards the I don't know if it's a lake or if it's like a pond just in the centre of Collett Park. Once you get to here, you're going to run around the perimeter of the south side of the pond and then head your way left, uphill, right alongside Millennium Way on a hard standing path. You're then going to turn right up at the top, so there was actually a football coach who was cheering us on, so that was great fun here. You're then going to turn right again, head your way all the way back down to where you started, turn left, do that another 2 times, you're ending up doing 3 laps there. And then on the 3rd lap, you're going to make your way towards the bridge where the finish line is and the finish funnel. So overall, it is a pretty simple course. It's not really anywhere where you're going to go wrong. There's marshals all over the shop as well, so hopefully you shouldn't make a wrong turn. But now you know a little bit more about the course, let's take a look at some of the park run records set at Shepton Mallet Parkrun. So starting off with the fastest male, which is Adam Tango Holland with a time of 15 minutes and 52 seconds, incredibly fast, along with the same incredibly fast time by the fastest female, which is Lily Hawkins with a time of 17 minutes and 11 seconds. The average number of runners is about 141, so it's not too busy, and an average time of 30 minutes and 24 seconds as well. So that's pretty slow compared to the last ones that we've done on the flat courses recently. And now let's take a look at some of my GoPro stats. These are a lot slower, and the number of park runs which I've done so far is 53 with 38 locations done as well. So I'm heading towards that half cowl club at 50. My best finish position is in 4th, which was at Zielony Jar in Poland. Summerdale Pavilion was my fastest time with a time of 22:32, and if I want to get Shepton Mallet onto the leaderboard, I'm going to have to beat 23:10, which was set at Riverfront. However, since my injury recently, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat this time, and my aim today is to try and beat 25 minutes. So now let's get down to the start of the park run, and as I was saying before, luckily Fergus was running his 100th park run, and you'll see him wearing a 25 vest for pretty much most of this run because I was trying to stick behind him as I was trying to beat 25 minutes. So I was very lucky as well that there was a 25-minute pacer on the day, especially as that was my target time to beat. As you can see in the background as well, it is a stunning park, really sunny day as well, so not much more that we can ask for on this run. But we're going to be heading off in 3, 2, 1, and we are off. The run has begun, so let's see what time we can get today. You can see a little buggy there in front of us as we head over that first bridge over the stream and towards the Charlton Road. I think that's what it's called, wasn't it? So we're going to head up towards here. We'll see a volunteer in just a second, and then we are going to turn off to the right hand side. You might be able to see the 25-minute pacer with the bib maybe somewhere in the background, but we're going to have to catch up to them because we have ended up starting a little bit too far behind them. And so here is that first bend with that volunteer off to the right hand side, and I've just noticed now my GoPro is starting to drop, so I remember whilst I was running as well that it does drop in just a second, but it's all good. There we go, now getting a quick crotch shot and it is now back up. There we go, and that should be fine for the rest of the run. I was tightening it as I was running. This never actually happened, it's the first time it's happened to me, but it's all good. Stunning day. Look at that park though, it's absolutely beautiful, and as you can see we are running on hard standing tarmac. It is a little bit clustered at the moment, so it's quite difficult to overtake people, but I was fine running at this pace. I could see the 25-minute pacer was just ahead there on the left hand side with that blue bib, and so far so good. So we are now going to head left towards Millennium Way. As you can see, another volunteer there is pointing us in that right direction. So we are now on sort of, maybe this is the only little bit which is on a grass sort of muddy little bit of patch, but because it was so dry, it was fine. It felt like you're running on hard standing path as well. Obviously right now we can run on the right hand side because no one has actually got to the end and done a U-turn yet, but once people have got to that other side they will start doing U-turns and you will be in their way, so do try and keep to this left hand side. Someone in front there with 250 park runs, and there is our 25-minute pacer. We have managed to catch up to them. We just need to now stick with them until the end, where we've got to make sure we take over them and beat that 25-minute time. And so you may have seen just then a couple of people passing on that right hand side to there at the front of the pack. You may have noticed as well on the right hand side that the elevation is not changing. It's about 154 to 156 meters, and that is probably the highest bit of elevation of this whole course. It is all flat as well in this whole section with the Millennium Way. Maybe watch out for a few little bushes and twigs on the left hand side, and maybe check your footing as well in case there's anything on the floor. But this is the U-turn that we were talking about. A couple of volunteers there cheering us on, and there is our 25-minute pacer Fergus in front of us, so we need to make sure we try and beat him at the end. But congratulations to him for his 100 park runs, absolutely smashing it. One day hopefully we'll get there. And so we're coming up towards the end of the straight. We've done about just over 1 kilometre now at a time of about 4 minutes and 50 seconds. So pretty good start right now, just under that 25-minute pace which we need to be. So hopefully we can keep this pace up, and the 25-minute pacer can pace me to the end. We are now going to turn off to the right hand side, so you'll notice that we're back at this section where we actually initially came onto Millennium Way, but now we're going to turn off to the right on the hard standing path. So I can imagine that being slippy maybe in the winter, so someone will have to let us know in the comments, but the elevation is going to start to drop here. So this is the slightly hilly bit, so we are now heading our way down. You'll see the pond slash lake on that right hand side. It's probably more of a pond because it's not that big. but we're going to be running alongside it in just a second. The elevation there dropping from 156 all the way down to 149. So as you can see, it is slightly hilly. And if you do want to check out my Strava in the description below, that'll have all the information on the elevation and my park runs as well. And if you are enjoying, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. We try and get a park run out every Friday, so do make sure to check those ones out. And so we are now doing that lap of Collett Park. I believe the toilets are here on the left hand side, so if you need the toilet, that is where they are, right near to the start, which you'll see in just a moment. We're going to be jogging back down to where we started. The parking is also on the left hand side there too, so everything is nice and close. There's no need to worry about getting there really early too, because it's such a big car park. So there are plenty of spaces, and it is free until 11 as well, which is perfect. But we're now heading on the far end back towards the start line, where we're going to be moving into lap 2, and you'll see that it'll start dropping in elevation as well as we head our way towards the centre of the park. And there we go. So lap 1 is almost complete. You can see the volunteers and the run director on the right hand side, which is where the finish funnel will be at the end. There's that start sign. Lap 1 done with a time there of about 8 minutes and 14 seconds. So if we keep this up, we should be all good and beat that 25-minute time, but we'll have to see how we get on. And it's good to note as well that from here up to the Millennium Way, where it's that long straight on the map at the bottom left hand corner, this is all a gradual incline. So you'll notice we went from 145 meters and we'll go up to about 156 meters. So this is the most difficult section of the run, so do make sure to preserve some energy for that, and you will feel a little bit of lactic acid building up in the legs as you head your way up this section. And there we go, so we are back up at Millennium Way. A couple of the fast runners there running down that right hand side back towards the lake to try and complete lap 2. All the sun's right in our eyes as well as we head our way up to the top point. You can see the elevation's gone back up to 152 meters, but we are sticking right behind our 25-minute pacer, as well as we've done 2.1 kilometers in about 10 minutes and 18 seconds. So that is what we like to see. Got just over the pace of the 25-minute, just under, sorry, the pace of the 25 minutes. So Fergus right now is pacing very well for us. And now we are heading up towards that U-turn again for the second time. So here we go, around the orange cone. I don't know whether in the winter that maybe they cancel it quite often because of it being slippy, maybe on the hard standing, I'm not too sure, or maybe it didn't get too bad. Someone will have to let us know in the comment section below if you have ever ran this course before. But we're now halfway through at a time of about 12 minutes and 10 seconds, so we're doing well. Just checking to make sure that the GoPro is still recording after I did knock it down, because otherwise it would have been a disaster. We're just sitting behind Fergus at the moment, trying to get that 25 minutes time. Now I'm very happy with how it is going at the moment, feeling a lot better as well and a lot fitter, because obviously once I got injured I was dropped to sort of 25 minutes and 45 seconds, and we are slowly building it up again, and so hopefully you'll see us get sub 25, but we will have to see by the end of this run. The elevation back up to that 156 meters, so we're back at the top end, and we're now heading our way back down towards the lake / pond again. And what goes up must come back down. So here we go, back down the hill towards the pond in the centre. You'll see that it is quite a quick, it's not a steep hill, but it does make you increase your strides that little bit further, but it's a nice little break as well. And you'll notice just after this pond there is a little bit of an incline, so we'll quickly skip over to that and see what that's like. So we've just passed that pond now, and this is the very, very gradual incline. It's really hard to see on cameras. I always find that, especially when you go on like Street View on maps and stuff like that too, that you can't really see just how bad the incline is. So if you watch the elevation on that far right hand side, you'll see that it does start to increase from 148 to 149, and it should go up to 150, 152. So we're making our way up. Tail walkers there on the left hand side, thank you very much to them. There's loads of benches and things to sit on if you do want to watch the run rather than actually partaking. And I think they did struggle last week and had to cancel because of the lack of volunteers. So if you are if you do love it, volunteering, then do make sure to come over to Shepton Mallet and volunteer here, because it is a beautiful park and everyone's so nice and friendly too. So you'll see here on the right hand side the football coach cheering us on. There he is, giving us a nice little clap and a pat on the back as we head our way forwards. Another volunteer there as well, cheering us on. We've just passed 3 kilometres, so we're on 3.1 kilometres in about 15 minutes and 20 seconds, so still ahead of schedule, which is what we like to see as we try and break that 25-minute barrier. And there is that start line as we head towards the end of lap 2 with a time of 16 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's keep this up, come on. Around the bend we go, a steep incline again. Just doing it for the final time though, so once we've done this, the hard bit is over for sure. So we're still pushing our way up. We dropped the pace down to about 5 minutes and 20, so we do need to try and increase that pace if we can on the hills, especially on this final hill, if we do want to keep under that 25-minute time. Thankfully, I am managing to keep up to the pacer there on the left-hand side, so all I need to do is sit behind him and then right at the end go for that sprint finish. And that is the hill complete for the final time. So we are doing this flat as well for that last time, doing a U-turn, then heading our way back towards the start. We're currently on 3.8 kilometers, a time of 18 minutes and 51 seconds. We're doing well at the moment. We just need to keep up this pace if we do want to beat the 25 minutes. But I do love running in the sun. However, if it gets too warm, then it is quite bad. But I just come back from Parma literally the day before doing this park run, so anything was going to feel cold compared to Parma, and it wasn't actually too warm either. It looks like it's a really warm and hot sunny day, but it wasn't actually that warm, so it was quite nice running temperatures, especially compared to it being too hot or too cold. And there goes that U-turn for the last time. The pace per kilometre dropped then off the scale. I was that slow going around that bend, but we're now heading our way back up towards the centre of the park. 4.2 kilometres in, coming up to 21 minutes, so we're doing well at the moment. Back up at the top of the park as well, the elevation right up there at 156, 157 metres. A quick well done there to them too on that right hand side. Pushing the buggy round, I swear the hills must be so challenging, although I suppose you can jump on the back of it on the way back down the hill in a moment. And the Millennium Way section is complete. 4.5 kilometres, 500 metres to go. Time of 22:16 right now. So can we keep this pace up? It looks like we might beat that 25-minute time, and I will be buzzing about it, because it always makes me feel down when I used to be running like 22, end of 22, so 22:46 is what time I brought it down to, until I then sprained my ankle, which is unfortunately at a park run. And then ever since then I have lost the speed, and it is really annoying. I'm hoping that I can pick it back up to where I was. My target was to get sub 20, and I was heading in that right direction, but since injury I've lost it again. It's like sort of like a restart, but it's fine. It's like a second journey almost as we head towards that 20-minute time. Keeping up with that 25-minute pacer though, and hopefully we can get the sprint finish there right at the end. And we are at this final straight with the football coach cheering us on that right-hand side. You may have heard the quick thank you. I think I've turned the sound up a little bit. Quick thank you to the pacer there, Fergus. So thank you very much to him, because he has managed to pace us the whole way round. And we could get under that 25 minutes here if we pick up the pace for these final few metres. So it's this final sprint finish now towards the centre of the park. Someone there just right ahead of us. I wonder what position we are going to get. The park there on that right hand side too. Just trying to speed it up. Come on, 4.9 kilometres in now. It says 5k, so we're not far off. It's usually about a 5.2 that it ends. For some reason my Strava does like zigzags when you go back and have a look at the map. Right, come on, quick, pick up this pace. Get under that 25-minute time. Come on, we've got this. Going past that pavilion for the final time. A couple of the people on their second lap on the left-hand side. Pushing it towards the end. There's the bridge, 1:24.5 minutes. What can we do? Can we beat our time of 25 minutes? It looks like we will. There's that finish line, and we're going to get a time there of 24 minutes and 45 seconds. There's that park run sign with the Shepton Mallet. And what position is that? That is 27. Thank you very much for that token. And let's take a look at the summary now, because we've done really well. Beat that 25-minute time, so I'm buzzing about that. So that is Shepton Mallet Parkrun complete. Absolutely smashed it. Sub 25. Buzzing about that. A couple of other achievements which I did get as well was from the 5K app, the Parkrun Obsessive. So that is my 30th park run, which I have done this year. So I'm pretty proud about doing that. Also, another S on the Alphabet Ear Challenge. We've now done 7 S's, which puts that at the top for all of my letters, which also contributes as well to the Snakes Challenge, as that is another S on that Snakes Challenge where you have to get 10 S's. And then finally, the stopwatch bingo as well. I've never got 45 seconds in the stopwatch bingo, so that's another challenge which has been completed there too. So as you can see, that was not the fastest time which I have ever done, and I probably wouldn't say it is a PB worthy course because of the slight hills. So I definitely wouldn't recommend this one for a PB, but in terms of aesthetics, it is a beautiful park. Loved the scenery all the way around, and the volunteers were cheering us on, keeping us all happy as well as we ran around too. So a big thank you to all of the volunteers as well, because without them, the park run could not go ahead like it did the week previously. I try and stick to 10% volunteering, so I've actually volunteered I think 8 times now, and I'm on 54 park runs. So I do try and give back to park run as well as take from park run while doing the running. As you can see as well, it wasn't too busy a park run, however it was quite tight, the paths, especially at the start, to try and overtake people. However, it just spread out as you obviously go on through the different laps. But this should lead us nicely on to the pinch points for this course. So the first one is that it is slightly hilly. That is definitely going to slow you down, so we'll add that one to the list right there. The second one is the U-turn, which is up at the top end on Millennium Way. That U-turn is going to slow you down, take a couple of seconds off your time too. And then the third one, which I'd say, is the fact that it is quite tight paths. So if trying to overtake people, especially at the start and along Millennium Way as well, it can be quite difficult. So I'll add that one to the list too. But apart from that, I can't think of any other pinch points. So like we said before, not one for the PB, but it is definitely one to do. And now we are on to the tips and tricks section, which you do for every single park run, and it's basically any advice on how to get there, where you can park, how you can get the train, bus, etc., and where to go after. So we'll start off with the train. So if you want to get there by train, the closest train station to this park run is Castle Carry train station. From there, it is a 12-minute drive, so there's not really any train station that is that close, and there's not really any public transport that can get you from the station to the park, or walking there will take you a while too. The second mode of public transport, which is much better, is via bus. So there are a couple of bus stops which you can stop off at. The first one is Collett Avenue, which from there is about a 4-minute walk, or a bus stop which is used by more buses and probably more of a reliable stop to go to is Cenotaph or Kenotaph. I'm not quite sure how you say it, spelled with a C, and that is a 7-minute walk from there to the start of the park run too. If you have no other option other than to get there by car, there is the council office car park, which is free until 11 AM, so you can stay there. Loads of spaces available as well, and there's a 5-minute walk to the start. So it's quite kind of the Mendip District Council to lend us that car park for this park run. And like I said, you've got it until 11 AM as well, so if you want to stay after, then you can leave your car there for a little bit. And then finally, the most important tip of the video, if you do want to go meet up with everyone for a post-park run, coffee and cake, everyone goes to visit Cafe The Hive, which is about a 7-minute walk from the finish line, and everyone goes and meets up there after the park run. And that is going to be it for my tips and tricks. So if you have any tips and tricks of your own, do make sure to let us know down in the comments section below, and I'll try and pin them up to the top. But now we're going to move back to my after GoPro stats. So after park run, we have now done 54 park runs. with a total number of locations being 39, so we're almost at 40 now, which is incredible. My best finish position and all my fastest times still stay the same, but I'm buzzing about beating that 25 minutes again. Now we are going to try and head towards that 24-minute time and try and break that again. But I do hope you all enjoyed this review, and if you did, do make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. It goes a long way for me, and I do appreciate it very much. And if you do want to go and check out last week's park run, we actually were in Bristol at a very flat park run, which is very new as well. It was the 8th run that they have done, and that's Three Brooks Park Run. Or you can go and check out all my other park runs in the Worldwide Park Run playlist, which have cities from all over Europe, including Krakow, Dublin, Belfast, and more. But tomorrow we are going to be hopefully heading over to Quakers Walk, which is in, I think it's Devizes or Devises, not quite sure how you say that, but again on the southwest side of England. So I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one.